Dear students, in this unit we will talk about the vegetative propagation of plants, which means that there is no sexual reproduction involved, and these plants are propagated through the asexual means. Vegetative propagation is often used when the crop plants are either they do not produce seed, or when the seed produced are not viable, or maybe it has very long dormancy. Dormancy is a period of time through which seed remains dormant. It is unable to grow into a new plants. So under these conditions, there are mechanisms through which these plants can be uh, propagated through vegetative means. Now, this method relies on the use of pieces of vegetative parts of these plants, such as stem, leaves, or roots, to perpetuate the parent plant. As you can see here in this diagram, you can see that certain parts of the plants, such as leaf of these plants, can be used to grow roots and shoots, in which can be cut from the parent plant, and they can be uh, put into the soil and they can be grown independently. And same, you can see here that roots of potatoes, which has certain parts known as the eyes of these roots, they can also be used for the vegetative propagation of potato plants. Now, asexual plant propagation or the vegetative propagation method actually produces new plants from the vegetative parts of the parent or the original plants, for example, leaves, stem, or the roots. And this method is very advantageous, actually, in such a way that it can also be induced artificially. There are certain plants which can be propagated naturally through this method, but now there are certain artificial methods through which any plant can be grown this way. Now, what are the advantages of vegetative propagation methods? At this actually new plant contains the exact genetic material of the parent plant. So they are actually the clone of the parent's plant. So they are very beneficial or the vital, especially in a sense that certain endangered plant species which are almost extinct, or there are very few species of very few individual of those plant species remains, they can be cloned and they can be increased in number so that their endangered status can be overcome using this vegetative propagation. Other than this, is that once you develop a plant which has very desirable traits and you don't want to make it genetically different, so vegetative propagation is very important, as it will keep the desired genetic traits of the parent's plants. So this also can help us in the propagation of that plant with the same traits indefinitely. Then a natural vegetative propagation actually takes place when an auxiliary bud of these parts of these plants grow into a lateral shoot, and that shoot laterally develops its own root also, which is also known as adventitious root, which is not a true root, but when it is detached from the parent plant, it becomes another root that was as well. Now, these plant structures, those allow the natural vegetative propagation. They include bulb, rhizomes, stolon, or the tubers. Those plants which has these parts, they can be easily propagate through vegetative propagation methods.